The last few days have really hammered this home, haven't they? So much about the future is uncertain. But what you can bank on is that the Lord's coming is near, and that should shape our plans, affect our view of prophets, encourage us to patience and to prayer in light of Jesus' return. What a way to cap off the week. What a way to finish the book of James. This is how the 12 tribes scattered should live, awaiting Jesus' return. If you miss a talk, it's not too late. I'll include a link below. The elders and I met last night, and I have some good news to announce. We have no idea what the future holds, except that Jesus will return. Let me recap for you a brief timeline of where we've been. In March this year, we suspended face-to-face ministries in light of COVID-19. In May, we introduced Mini Church. In June, the Department of Education and the school allowed us to meet when we're ready and willing to do so. And now, after consultation with more of you, the elders and I think we're at that point where most of us are ready to meet. Sort of. Perhaps. Depending on what happens in Victoria and Casula and New South Wales generally. That's life under COVID, isn't it? More than ever before, as we were reminded in James, everything can change very quickly. Our lives are a mist. And so the elders and I are proposing this. If the Lord wills, we are planning to regather at Rosalie on Sunday, the 16th of August. That gives some time for schools to go back in term 3, for us to have further discussions with the school, and for us to develop more detailed plans and procedures when we have access to the site. That's what we're planning as Plan A. We also have a Plan B. Our fallback position, if the situation changes dramatically, if community transmission skyrockets in New South Wales and government restrictions clamp down, our fallback position is Mini Church. We'll still organise Mini Church for the first 2 weeks of August, and we'll continue running them if Rosalie is no-go. When we set up Mini Church, we knew it was a resilient model of ministry. Since the numbers are low, the risk of exposure is low, and if any Mini Church records an infection, the individuals can self-isolate without disrupting other groups. It's a resilient model of ministry, and that's Plan B. And we'll always need Plan B. Even if we are able to regather successfully at Rosalie on the 16th of August, we can't tell what will happen in the future. There may be future outbreaks. There may be tighter restrictions. We will always need our Plan B. And then there's Plan C. If the situation is so serious and government restrictions so severe, we'll revert to the model that we had at the beginning of this season in March. We will all be watching the sermon on YouTube in our households or on our own. That's Plan C. And in all likelihood, if one of us should get infected and not realize it and be at church, then we will all have to self-isolate for 2 weeks, and Plan C will come into effect. So we'll always need our Plan C as well. So, if the Lord wills, we'll resume at Rosalie, but we have 2 contingency plans as well, which we'll be prepared to activate at any time. I'll have more to say about what regathering will look like in the next few weeks, but for now I need to say the plan is to run one service on Sundays at 10 a.m. and no separate evening church for now. In a nutshell, COVID places greater demands on congregations, including cleaning after the service, and so at this stage the elders and I think it'd be best if morning and evening church combine and meet at 10 a.m. For now, home group Bible studies will continue on Zoom. We'll recommence next week on Wednesdays and Thursdays, just because the numbers for most home groups and the sizes of most lounge rooms still make effective social distancing quite tricky. We'll revisit this down the track. If you have any questions about any of this, feel free to ask me or one of the elders, and we can tell you we don't know, or we may have an answer for you. I did ask one of our elders some questions about life under COVID. So here's Chris sharing with us about how Mini Church has been, how he found the book of James, what he's looking forward to post-isolation, and what we can be praying about for him.
Church has always been part of my life, ever since I was, always part of my life. And so COVID has made me realise the importance of meeting together, particularly as a church. God created us for relationships, and I think that's what I've missed the most, is just having that one-to-one, face-to-face contact. Mini church has been great. It's been great to meet with others, to hear Ben's talk, to pray, and then to have a chat, have a discussion. And I think the discussions have been probably deeper and more intentional. And that's been a great thing too. I've enjoyed James. I found it a really practical book. It's just challenged me about the way I live, the things that I do and why I do them, the motivation behind those things. Talking about favoritism, showing favoritism, controlling my tongue, dealing with trials and submission. They're all hard things when we try to apply them to our lives. But what I found was they all fit under. There was one thing that stood out to me, which was the difference between heavenly wisdom and worldly wisdom. And I think if I get that right, seeking after heavenly wisdom rather than worldly wisdom, all those things will fit into place naturally. I'm looking forward to seeing my family more, and I'm also looking forward to catching up with my extended family, because we haven't seen each other for a while. And I'm looking forward to meeting together with church family. So I guess, family is what it's all about post-isolation. You could thank God for the peace and the security that I felt over these past couple of months, when there's been I think a lot of people are feeling quite insecure. There's a lot of uncertainty about. You could pray that I would continue to trust God in all things, and especially at this time. And you could pray that He would enable me and give me the boldness to be able to share the source of that peace and security with those around me who may be feeling that uncertainty and that anxiety.
In the next day or so, I'll be trying to get around Sydney faster than an undetected case of... Too soon? Actually, I was planning to come round in the next day or so, but we know what plans are like, don't we? A few days ago, one of us had a runny nose. She got tested, she came back negative. This morning, 4 of us have runny noses and a sore throat for me. So I'll do a letterbox drop when I get better, when I test negative, if the Lord wills it. At some point in time then, in the future, probably, possibly, maybe, you'll receive a notice sheet with an invitation to join us Sunday, the 16th of August, 10 a.m. at Rosalie, if the Lord wills it, and an invitation to sign up for mini church if you haven't already done so. There'll be a Bible study booklet for our next series on 1 Timothy. And there'll be a Kit Kat, because goodness knows we could all do with a break right now. This Sunday, 1 Timothy chapter 1, verses 1 to 11. Read ahead. Please pray for our nation. Please pray we might regather all together soon. Please pray for mini churches meeting and for those not in mini church. And I'd appreciate your prayers too, that God will sustain me with energy, that God will restore me and the family to health, and give me fruitful reflection and preparation for 1 Timothy. I'll email again later this week.